Yes, Ed turned out to not be gracious. He did some very bad things, and then when he did some very bad things, it meant that Discovery Channel used to work with it.
No one expected it. One day, Edd China was rolling into the garage, sleeves up and ready to wrench. The next, gone. No goodbye, no sign-off, just silence. Fans were stunned. What could have pulled the heart of wheeler dealers off-screen without a word? Some blamed a sudden budget slash. Others whispered about a behind-the-scenes clash no one saw coming. The truth? It's more layered than anyone thought. Back in 2003, long before car content ruled YouTube, Mike Brewer and Edd China brought real deal mechanics to TV. Mike was the deal maker. Ed was the genius in orange gloves turning junk into gold and explaining every bolt and fix so even a teen in his driveway could follow along. The chemistry was magic. Viewers from across the globe begged for longer repairs, deeper dives, more Ed. As the show exploded, they took it global and eventually to California. Bigger shop, bigger budgets, bigger pressure. That's where the cracks began. The new network wanted quicker episodes, flashier edits, tighter turnarounds. Suddenly, full repairs were chopped into 30-second montages. Ed hated it. He didn't just fix cars, he taught. Now his scenes were getting sliced, and he knew fans were losing the step-by-step magic. He pushed back. Mike tried to balance both sides, but the gap between TV show and real car show kept growing. By 2017, Ed had had enough. He uploaded a quiet 6-minute bombshell. I'm leaving Wheeler Dealers. Calm, respectful, but firm. The new producers wanted speed, not substance. Ed said no. Fans exploded with support. Within hours, his video had millions of views. Forums blew up. Articles rolled out. And then came the backlash. Not at the network, but at Mike. Some called him a sellout. Others sent threats. Mike tweeted support, said he loved Ed like a brother. But the storm was already spinning, and it was just getting started. The fallout didn't stay online. Hate messages flooded Mike Brewer's inbox. One warned someone might show up at his house. Another dragged his teenage daughter into it. Shaken, Mike contacted police. They opened a file and told him to stay alert. He later admitted the stress nearly broke him. Even Edd China stepped in, urging fans to stop the threats. But once the internet lights a fire, it spreads fast. And this one was out of control. Sponsors panicked. A tire brand pulled out. The network scrambled, releasing a longer statement promising the show would stay true to its roots. Then they announced a new face in the garage. Ant Anstead, a former cop turned builder, known for charm, speed, and skill. Some fans welcomed the fresh energy. Others screamed betrayal. Forums split in two. But deep down, many still hoped Ed and Mike might one day fix more than just cars. With the cameras still rolling, Ant stepped into the workshop, all grin and confidence. The first car, a bright blue Mustang, was torn down and rebuilt almost too quickly. Gearbox swapped, body sprayed, sold by the end credits. Viewers who love speed cheered, but diehards paused the video, confused. Where was the step-by-step? How did he align the clutch? The magic was in the details, and now those details were missing. Ant noticed. Between takes, he filmed extra clips, detailed repairs, careful breakdowns. Some made it onto YouTube. Most didn't. Ratings were strong, but the audience was split. Fans chasing thrill versus fans missing the soul. Mike did everything to hold the balance. He hyped builds, backed Ant, and promised depth was coming. But every comment, every post carried a ghost. Bring back Ed. Ant joked he was the most loved and hated mechanic on TV. Off camera, the pressure was heavy. Still, the show marched on. A 240Z, a Ferrari, a military Humvee, all flipped, polished, sold. Wheeler Dealers was alive. But was it right? Meanwhile, Edd China had vanished to the edge of the English countryside. 4 years passed. Fans kept asking, where did he go? In 2021, they got an answer. Edd China's workshop diaries dropped on YouTube. No flash, no studio, just Ed, a boiling kettle, and a tired Range Rover. He greeted viewers like old friends, then got to work. Every bolt, every gasket, every seal, shown in real time. If a fix needed explaining, Ed pulled out a whiteboard and drew it. It was old school, hands-on, and all his. The magic was back, and it was deeper than ever. Soon the projects grew bolder. A 1960s milk float turned EV, a motorized sofa rebuilt for the road. Comments poured in, "This is what we missed." Within months, the channel crossed 500,000 subscribers, funded by fans, Patreon backers, and the odd t-shirt sale. Edd picked his own sponsors. If it's not in my toolbox, it's not in the show. No scripts, no timers, just real work at his pace. Some weeks saw a new episode every Friday, others nothing for a month, and no one complained. They knew the next video would land when the job was done right. Back at Wheeler Dealers, Ant Anstead's run ended in 2020 when he returned to the UK for family. In stepped Mark Elvis Priestley, a McLaren F1 vet with sharp skills and easy charm. The show shifted again, now filmed in a British workshop. Ratings stayed solid, but comparisons never stopped. Every torch spark and wrench turn was held up to Edd's legacy. By 2024, the two roads were clear, Edd building slow and deep in his own time, Mike steering a faster, sleeker version of the show. But online, whispers kept floating. Could they ever reunite? Mike's answer? Never say never. Edd would just smile and change the subject. With both men thriving in their own lanes, only one question lingered. Would they ever feel the need to bridge the gap? Or were they better off driving separate roads for good? For a while it seemed settled, but the internet never forgets. By 2023, whispers started up again. A tiny car blog casually dropped a line. Sources say Edd China may guest star in a Wheeler Dealers special. No date, no quote, just enough spark to send fans into a frenzy. Reddit lit up. Some claim they saw Edd having lunch with a Motor Trend producer at Goodwood. Others swore Mike and Edd were quietly planning a charity build to mark the show's 25th anniversary. Neither man shut the door. Asked about it on a podcast, Mike grinned. Never say never. My phone still works. A month later, Edd hosted a live stream. Someone asked, "Would you ever go back?" He paused, then said with a smile, "Only if we can show every nut and bolt." Not a yes, not a number. But it was enough to reignite hope. Rumors kept rolling in. Some said the BBC wanted them for an electric conversion series. Another floated a Discovery reunion. 10 classic cars, 10 countries, one last handshake. Most ideas fizzled when money ran out or timelines fell apart, but the buzz never died. Small moments hinted the gap was quietly closing. At the 2024 NEC Classic Motor Show, Mike and Edd spoke on the same stage. Separate panels, same day. Backstage, they shared a quick hello. One photo caught them smiling, and Twitter exploded. A month later, Mike tweeted Edd a simple birthday wish. Hope to share a brew soon. Edd liked it with a thumbs-up emoji. Just a tiny gesture, but to longtime fans, it felt like fresh oil on a seized hinge. Behind the scenes, both kept building. Edd tested a hydrogen-powered taxi and hinted at a new obsession with alternative fuels. Mike wrapped filming for the show's 20th season and teased, "Our biggest flip ever." Yet no matter the project, every interview ended with the same question. Will you two ever work together again? Both men just smiled and shrugged, letting the silence carry the weight. And in that open-ended pause, fans found fuel. As long as no one said never, the dream stayed alive. Because whether a reunion happens next year, next decade, or never, the truth is simple. The story of Edd China and Mike Brewer isn't over. It's just idling, engine warm, waiting on the next green light. For over 2 decades, a small show about fixing beat-up cars sparked a global debate. How much reality can you cut before the heart stops beating? When Wheeler Dealers started, every scraped knuckle and seized bolt felt honest. Viewers didn't just watch. They learned. They tried, and often failed. But they grew. That connection wasn't scripted, it was earned. The 2017 split proved honesty has a price. Edd chose principle, walking away from fame to keep full creative control. Mike stayed, balancing big sponsors, crews, and a global brand. Both paths required guts. Both took a toll. And together they showed 2 hard truths. TV is about compromise. Craftsmanship isn't. And yet, instead of losing viewers, something strange happened. Fans followed both. Some wanted quick flips with Mike. Others craved Edd's deep dive guides. But both groups stayed loyal. In a world drowning in content, that's the lesson. If it's real, people will find it. So will that handshake ever return? Maybe. History says money talks, but trust talks louder. If the moment ever comes when both men feel the time is right, when there's space for every bolt and respect for every budget, those iconic workshop lights might flicker back on. Until then, two dreams drive forward. One chasing profit, the other perfection. Which one do you follow? Fast flips, full breakdowns, or maybe a rare fusion of both? The next twist in this story might just depend on what you decide to watch. From a London garage to screens across the globe, Edd China and Mike Brewer proved that rusted metal could tell beautiful stories. Their split reminded us that passion and profit don't always share the same road, but both paths still matter. One moves fast, one moves true. Maybe they'll meet again, or maybe they were meant to part. In the end, it's the fans who fuel the journey. So what do you think? Let us know in the comments.